Welcome to the Ecommerce Alley podcast, where we believe that great brands are built on passionate leadership, smart operations, and of course, powerful marketing. My name is Josh Coffey, and I am here with my co-host, Dylan Counts. And today we're going to talk about something that is fresh off the block. It's so fresh, Dylan doesn't even know what it is, and that's why we're filming this.
Yeah, you told me, hey, we're going to film a podcast on something. I don't want you to do any research on it. It's so new, you probably won't be able to find any research on it, and I'm coming into this completely blind. I'm going to learn with you guys what this thing is.
Yes. Meta has released and is releasing, it's not in all accounts yet, actually. We only have it in, I think, 2 or 3 accounts.
Out of 400?
About 400, yeah. We, after the last podcast that we filmed, I was like, I keep saying we work with over 300 brands.
Yeah.
And Dylan went and did the math, and we just crossed 400. So I've been saying that for a while. Now I can say the next number. That's pretty exciting. Anyway, we're in a lot of accounts, and I think I only see it in like 2 or 3 right now actively. But there is a new change that's happening in the Metasphere right now, and that is that Advantage Plus shopping campaigns, which are our beloved campaigns, we really like Advantage Plus shopping. We talk a lot about that. We're very bullish on them. Have now or are becoming Advantage Plus sales campaigns. So we're gonna, and there's some changes that are actually happening from a technical standpoint,
Okay.
And I want to get your feedback on it because Dylan is one of our head coaches and does a lot of coaching. He's in a boatload of accounts, and you get to see a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And so you have your own thoughts on Advantage Plus shopping, just like I do. And so I'm curious to see what your perspective is, because there are a couple of things that are changing here.
Yeah.
Starting with the word shopping is now getting converted to sales. How do you feel about it?
First impressions, I really think Meta needs a new marketing team. I remember when Advantage Plus was first coming out, and everyone, like, it was Advantage Plus audiences, Advantage Plus shopping, Advantage Plus placements, Advantage Plus, and you're like, I don't know what any of this crap means. Like, I think they need new naming structures entirely, but whatever, I guess.
You know what? I actually think it's good.
I think it's okay.
I like that it is sales, because when I think shopping, I think of Google Shopping, and I think they just stole that. They're like, oh, Google Shopping, Advantage Plus shopping.
Yeah.
I didn't think that ever made sense. I think that the name sales is actually, I mean, big whoop on the name, but like it is simpler, easier to understand.
But you know how
sales.
That's so hard to communicate to people. It's like shopping is now sales, and it's like what?
I guess sales looks different to everybody in the B2B space.
Yeah.
This is for purchases. Yeah, that's interesting.
I just think it's like it's not a big enough name change for what it sounds like it is.
Yeah.
Like it seems like this is like a whole new thing that they're doing. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what it feels like.
Yeah, well, there are some things that are changing. First thing is, so obviously we can only have one ad set, right? Campaign, one ad, in Advantage Plus shopping, campaign, one ad set, and then like up to 150 ads. I've never had that many in one, but you can have up to it. Now they allow you to have more ad sets. So you used to only have one.
In the Advantage Plus campaign?
Plus. Yeah, so we have Advantage Plus, and then you could just have a lot of different ad sets instead of just having the one.
What would be the reason for that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
it's new.
Some degree of control. So I think that Meta is giving us some degree of control, because I think that that's the problem with a lot of Advantage Plus shopping is like we feel powerless.
That's fair.
Like we have no control over targeting. We can't even isolate different ad sets because, like, you know, we'll do a lot of concept or like message testing or creative tests, and we'll use different ad sets for those in different in manual sales campaign structures. And so I think that it's nice that Advantage Plus is putting it in the campaign, like it optimizes differently, which I believe, and I like that, but I hate that you lose a lot of control over like the ad sets. You got to throw them all in, and it usually lashes onto like one ad, whereas I could see this being good in the manner that we could have one ad set and then have different concepts, and then the ads within those different folder ad sets essentially model after that. So you can kill things from a message standpoint. You can see how messages line up against each other, whereas if they're all in one, it heavyweights to one ad, and unless you turn off that ad to find out, sometimes you do it and it doesn't work out. Unless you do that, there's no other way.
So it's basically just, obviously we don't know because we haven't ran a lot of this, but it's essentially better organization inside of an Advantage Plus campaign to the point where you don't have to have multiple Advantage Plus shopping campaigns to test all of this. You can do it all in one campaign with multiple ad sets.
Exactly.
What about like audience targeting in the ad sets?
Yeah, so now you're getting ahead of me. I'll just jump to that one.
Okay.
That is an update. So normally with Advantage Plus shopping, if anyone's running them right now, you have no control. You could just say, hey, you choose the country, and that's pretty much it, right? Now at the ad set level, we can do Advantage Plus audiences. So that's what's in manual sales, right? So we have that ability. You can switch even back to manual, but it's like...
Man, they still let you do manual,
they still let you do manual, right? They still let you do, but it's like hidden. I forget how it was phrased. It was phrased a little bit differently when we were in there.
It's like they go from like a big blue button, and then this is how Meta always works. It's like what once was a big blue button now is like some hidden text that's just like underlined on the right, like hidden in the corner.
Yeah.
And then they change the name of it so you can't find it.
And then they make you toggle see more, settings.
And then it just goes away entirely.
Yeah. Exactly. So we kind of know where it's going, but they do have. So now you could at least do Advantage Plus audiences, which we actually see them do pretty well in a manual sales campaign. Advantage Plus audiences have done fine. This is actually, I've never told you this. So I actually think of Advantage Plus audiences. Like if you don't have Advantage Plus audiences, essentially you just insert interests or you insert custom audiences or lookalikes or whatever that is. And it basically is a suggestion to show Meta like, hey, this is who my ideal customers kind of are in their ideal age ranges. However, take this as you will and use it as you see fit, but go broad. It's basically broad with a little bit of like an initial direction. And to be honest, I don't have. It's kind of like a stoplight to me. Like when you're at a crosswalk and you're pressing the button. And it's like they have those things there, but a lot of them are just timed, and it's more a psychological thing that people feel that they're speeding it up and they're actually doing something when they're actually not.
Yes.
I kind of feel that way about Advantage Plus audiences.
I would agree with that. I feel like, and just from the first few things you shared with me about this new campaign structure, it kind of feels like that's what the whole campaign structure is. It's like Meta is like trying to make you feel like you have more control because they're giving you back some of this stuff. They're like, for all those marketers out there that this is like their thing, like I love marketing, I love launching ads. Everyone who didn't like it was like, Advantage Plus is great. All I do is throw 5 ads in there and it works. Where like the professional marketers are like, oh, I want control, I want to do this and this. So now it's like, oh, for you professional marketers, here you go, here's your control back. But I would agree Advantage Plus audiences is probably like that, and it sounds like this campaign is kind of doing the same thing. It's like making you feel like you have the control back. But it really is just
them doing whatever they want.
It's just the AI.
Like, hey, give us suggestions, and then just put them right there in that trash bin, and we're just going to do whatever we want to do. Hey, we've seen Advantage Plus audiences actually do fine, so maybe they do. We haven't run any like really isolated tests against like Advantage Plus interests versus we've never tried that before. So it'd be interesting is actually now we could test an Advantage Plus shopping campaign. We could test just going broad and not giving suggestions with the same exact ads, and then run another ad set that's doing the exact same ads, obviously, and running to Advantage. That would be a nice clean test. We should do that. That's something we should do. Okay, so that's changing. Another thing that's changing is instead of 150 ads per ad set, you can only have 150. You can only have 50.
Shoot, there goes my entire marketing strategy, man. I had 150 ads over here ready to go.
I know.
What am I supposed to do?
I
don't think that affects anybody.
Who really
is
cares?
that per ad set?
It's per ad set. So who cares?
So you could have
I don't know anyone with 50 ads in a single ad set.
So you could have 150 in one campaign.
You can have as many as you want. Only 50 under an ad set, and then as many ad sets as you want. So unlimited. You just have to. You got to break it into 3. If you want to launch 150 ads, you have to have 3 ad sets.
I could probably do that. I'll let you know how it goes.
Right.
I'm not actually doing that.
Nobody. I don't know any accounts, even high spend accounts, that have 50 in a single ad set. Like,
no.
Usually by the time you even you can't. It doesn't even make sense. We don't have to get on that rabbit trail.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. So that is changing. Another thing is changing. There's now a button, which is it's kind of cool. You can just set campaign level budget or ad set level budget. And so you can actually decide, hey, do I want to spend, obviously, CBO, run on the budget level or campaign level, or run on the ad set level. So
is that happening on the campaign level?
Campaign level,
and then you switch campaign or ad set?
It's literally just like a button now. So you know how you normally have a manual turn on Advantage budget? They went too branded, I thought.
Once again, everything's just Advantage. You're like, I don't know what any of this means.
Eventually, Advantage is they just got to take it out.
Because everything
the
is
social
Advantage.
Network. Get rid of Advantage.
I love it. Because everything is
budget. We don't need Advantage campaign budget. It's redundant. So they now allow you, so on the campaign, when you're creating it, allows you to select campaign budget or ad set budget.
Okay.
But what's kind of funny. Oh, do you have a take on that?
So all of your ad sets have the same budget then? Or you switch it to an ad set.
You switch it to ad set, and then on the ad set level, you can choose how much you want to put in it.
So it's really the same thing, except you just don't have the toggle switch to set it on the. It's just a button now.
Yeah, it's just a button now.
Big changes here, folks. Big changes.
It's a multi-select technically. It's like a bubble, and it says campaign, and there's a bubble below, and you gotta.
To be fair, that is better for educating people, because if you didn't. If you
Yes.
saw the switch, you would assume either I turn it on or I don't know where else to set the
And you don't
budget.
know what it's going to do, actually.
Yeah.
They each have a little description next to them.
That makes sense.
But what's kind of
a little bit better.
So I'll give you. So here's what's kind of funny though. When you actually select ad set level budget, it removes, because what happens is you're creating the campaign. It creates like this, like how optimized it is. Google does the same thing. It says like you have an optimization score of like a percentage.
Yep.
So it's like, and now it's in the top right, just like Google's is, and it gives you like check boxes under campaign budget, or under budget, under placements, and under I forget what the last one is. It's 3. We'll have to pull it up or something. But if you go to ad set budget, it unchecks that and says that it's not optimized because you're not running campaign budget. And then you hover over and you're like, and it says, we recommend that you run campaign level budget.
Once again,
When they give you the options, and they're like, but
it's the stoplight button.
Yeah,
it's like you can feel like you're controlling it with the ad set level, but you're really wrong. You should do campaign.
You should do. They're really leaning you to it. And then what's the most interesting to me is they say the optimization unchecked, so it's not optimized now. And then they recommend that you run campaign. But then they say, we recommend that you run campaign level budget. But if you want to do retargeting, you use ad set spend limits. Because you could set a floor and a ceiling, right? You can say, if I'm going campaign level budget, and I have 3 ad sets and it's going to distribute, it's going to latch primarily onto one. You could say, I want a minimum amount to go to this one, but also I could set a maximum too. So like, let's say you had a prospecting campaign, and let's say you had like a retargeting, right? Ad set, yes. So you have a campaign, you have a prospecting ad set, and you have I'm going really basic here, and then a retargeting ad set. It's probably going to push all of the budget to the retargeting, or the prospecting, because it's a larger audience, right?
Yep.
So instead, we can set they actually recommend running campaign, but then executing control on the ad set level, like setting a spend minimum and a spend maximum on each ad set.
So this removes the existing budget cap thing, like
Pretty
for
much
your existing customers budget cap.
Yep. So it's removing that. That's another thing they're doing. So they're removing existing customer budget cap, and it's so funny because they're taking away existing customer budget cap. And anyone who's listening, if you don't know what that is, basically you can allocate in an Advantage Plus shopping campaign right now. You can allocate a percentage to go toward your existing customers. So it's kind of like serves like a retargeting percentage that you get to choose. But here, they're taking that away, which we like that. We usually tell people put 5 to 10% because what I love about this is it keeps your campaign consolidated and optimized, and it allocates a percentage on your behalf.
And it allows that whole campaign to optimize based on your retargeting people.
Yes.
Because if you have the campaign split, then your retargeting campaign is not sharing optimization information with your cold campaign, so it can't find people more effectively, and it helps you get to that 50 conversion in 7 days. So it does make sense to do it that way.
Yeah, but now they're taking that away.
Great.
So now they are taking that away. I don't know. I'm kind of torn on it because I really like that you can allocate a percentage. But one of the problems is that if you put 0%, it still goes and hits all your retargeting people. That's one thing I don't like. So like
you have to set it to 1%.
You got to set it to 1%. That's kind of the hack that we found. So if you have an Advantage Plus shopping, if you leave it if you put 0% and you just leave it empty, it starts pushing like a lot of times I've seen like 20, 30% of spend, like because you can do an audience breakdown and see like engaged, new, existing and new, and you'll just look at engagement or you'll look at existing and it's like hammering them. And I'm just like, if you don't put anything, it hammers them. You got to put a percentage in there. So I wonder if this will kind of work that out. Maybe, hopefully work it out.
It's kind of interesting. So you're saying that they recommend you do a separate ad set with the budget. Ad set budget caps.
They recommend that if you want to do your own retargeting, that you create an ad set for retargeting specifically, and then you set an ad spend limit on that ad set.
That's probably the most interesting thing to me that you've said so far.
Very strange.
Because you would think that they would just say, they would remove the ability to set any of that and just say, all ad sets are going to do retargeting or something like that. I guess it makes sense because you wouldn't want to set like an Advantage Plus audience ad set with these audiences and then also expect that to do your retargeting. It's just weird. That almost feels backwards to me.
Yeah.
It's moving backwards from the Advantage Plus shopping campaign.
Yeah, I think it's dumb. Doesn't make sense to me. Here's why. So
Mark,
because
it's dumb.
because they introduced ad set. I think that they should do is they should incorporate an existing. I don't think they should do existing customer budget cap. I think they should do an existing audience budget cap. You know what would be really freaking awesome? If they added 2 toggles on an ad set level, and you could say, how much do I want to go to my engaged audiences, and how much do I want to go to my existing customers?
Yeah.
That would be freaking amazing. That's like the perfect all-in-one prospecting, hitting warm, so I could say, hey, and if they allowed percentages. Sorry, I'm getting excited about this potential new thing that doesn't exist.
That doesn't exist at all.
That would be so cool.
Well, let me ask you then, if they were to do this based on the new sales campaign, and once again, this is literally not happening, we're just having fun here, what would that do? Because theoretically, you could then have Advantage Plus audiences and you've got some targeting in there. Would you set the percentage in there? Like, you would say, I mean, they got rid of the percentages, but like, would you say 5% to existing, 10% to engaged with the Advantage Plus audiences set?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
just use the Advantage Plus audiences.
Yeah. Well, so here's what's really confusing about this. So if you were to go to, if you were to try to they're recommending that if you want to. They even say replicate. They say if you want to replicate, let me just see what it actually says. If you want to replicate existing customer budget cap, they literally say if you want to replicate this.
So if you're mad that we got rid of it, here's how to get it back, but you have to jump through some
hoops. If you're mad that we got rid of this, then go still do campaign level budget, create an extra ad set, call it retargeting, put the custom audiences you want to retarget in there, then go to the cold campaign and exclude those custom audiences so that we don't run to them here, and then allocate a minimum and a maximum budget threshold or spend limit on the ad set for the retargeting so that it doesn't spend under this and doesn't spend over this. Oh, and because if you do Advantage Plus audiences, it's going to take it as a suggestion. So you actually need to switch back to manual audiences so that we don't expand the targeting. Makes no freaking sense.
I wish I had a whiteboard to roll out here and be like, okay, so here's where we were, manual sales campaigns. Here's where we just got to, Advantage Plus shopping campaign. And then I would just draw a circle back around to manual campaign, and then I would just add plus AI. Because that's what this sounds like. Like, it sounds like they went forward with Advantage Plus shopping and made it easier to do all of this stuff in one campaign, made it simple, and then now they're kind of going back to the manual.
It's pretty
and
much
making
manual.
it all harder. It seems harder now because there's all this hidden AI stuff that they're doing in the background that they're not like super forward in telling you. I mean, you said that because you told me that you had to find that. You said that you had to dig through knowledge base to find. Yeah,
I literally screenshot the knowledge bases because once I found something, it was hard for me to re-find it. Yeah. So I started screenshotting.
So they're hiding that really deep in the abyss of meta knowledge, right? And it's just going to make it so much harder for people to understand how to do the retargeting. So do you know what happens if you don't do that? Because most people won't know to do that. So do you know what happens if you don't do that? Will it just do its own retargeting in those other ad sets?
Well, so I think the big question is, isn't this just a manual sales campaign?
Yeah, without the retargeting that the Advantage Plus shopping used to have. Yeah. Like that was the thing with Advantage Plus is that you didn't have to do retargeting, but it sounds like you're just going back to having to do a separate retargeting just in an ad set instead of
which is just a manual sales campaign. Jinx.
Dang, I wish I had that whiteboard. It'd be so funny to draw the circle. You know, in The Office where he's like, okay, so you get one person, and then that one person gets two persons, and then those two people get two more people. And it's a pyramid. That's how this feels like. It's like, okay, so this is just a manual sales campaign. Yeah, it's just a full circle.
It's very interesting. So, so when I look at it, I'm wondering, what's the freaking difference between this and manual sales campaign? You have multiple ad sets. You can have, 50 ads. Guess how many ads you can have in a single ad set in manual sales? 50 ads. Advantage Plus Audiences, you have access to that in a manual sales campaign. Ad set or campaign level budget, you have access to that in there's literally nothing different. And I tried to dig around and see what could I find that's different.
Yeah.
And then I found this one little thing that only shows why this is different from a manual sales campaign. And you have to hover over, the little eye where it shows info next to, something if you're reading an article, you hover the eye and it pops up a little thing.
Yeah.
I was trying to understand what's the difference between an Advantage Plus sales campaign and a manual. I couldn't find it anywhere because it's identical organizationally.
Sounds like it.
And then I found this little thing, we'll throw it on the screen, and it says, your campaign is set up to maximize performance with AI. But manual sales campaign doesn't say AI. So apparently the only difference is AI. But I thought they've been using AI in everything all along in the manual. So how is it, did they just say, you know what, we're going to introduce AI in all our manual sales campaigns that everybody's been running budgets on, we're not going to introduce it over there. It makes no sense because even their Advantage Plus audiences inside of manual sales campaigns say we use AI. So it's, I don't know the difference.
It feels like a stoplight button again because I feel like it's like, let's be honest. I would say that campaign structure, like we've talked about, doesn't really affect the performance. Like right now, we did a test where we had a manual sales campaign and an Advantage Plus campaign, and they both were performing the same, right? If manual sales campaigns, as they were not using AI, and the Advantage Plus campaign had the same ads, manual sales campaign had the same ads, they were performing the same, you can't tell me that manual sales campaign wasn't already using the same AI that the Advantage Plus was.
Or are they using AI at all? Dun,
dun, dun. I don't know. This sounds just like a name change.
It's like they're literally just bringing us back to the original campaign structure. Which, you know what? Here's the thing. We have said forever that campaign structure doesn't matter. The only things that matter are your product and offer and your ads. And of course, you need a website that can process payments and isn't a hunk of junk. But if you just have those two things, it doesn't matter the campaign structure. You will do well. And so, I view this is kind of like, it's kind of like if you were riding in a car and you got to drive the steering wheel, but the car it's like they gave you a steering wheel, but the car just went wherever it was going to go anyway. It's like, it kind of feels like that. Let's talk a little bit about, I'd love to close on this and get your thoughts. How do you think that we should use this?
This feels like a very scalable campaign, just like we were using Advantage Plus in the past. And we've even started going back to manual sales campaigns anyways. Like, a lot of our clients, we've been recommending manual sales campaigns. We've been running manual sales campaigns, seeing them actually do better than the Advantage Plus campaigns. I wonder if Meta is actually seeing the same thing, where I'm just thinking, because I'm an AI nerd, I wonder if there's some sort of a context window thing where Advantage Plus is just starting to lose its context window, or the AI optimization isn't working as well, whatever that could be. So they're trying to go back to that manual sales campaign type where you're basically prompting it like you would an AI, like ChatGPT. It sounds like a really scalable concept, and we've already kind of been doing this anyways. So I would say that this becomes your scaling campaign, and then also opens up the opportunity for better testing, because you have more control over it. You have a better understanding of what it's targeting, where it's going, excluding custom audiences so you can make sure it's cold. I see it ultimately as a move forward, as long as the targeting is still good. That's my thought.
I think this is a great step forward, and the reason I believe it's a great step forward is sheerly because it will get us away from hopefully not having two campaign structures that I believe confuses the crap out of people, because people think if I run manual sales, and Dylan just said, like, we see it work in a lot of accounts. We also see Advantage Plus shopping. So if you're like throw everyone on a table and say, like, hey, raise your hand if ASC works for you, or Advantage Plus Shopping, or Advantage Plus Sales. Raise your hand if manual sales, and you're going to have 50-50. So like, I think that that's confusing. I have clients ask me all the time, should I run manual sales? My ASC has been like fatiguing or going down. I'm like, no, you probably have an ads or an offer issue. It's very, 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 very rarely ever an issue like that. And so I think this is great, because if we only ever had to talk about one campaign structure that everybody used, that would make our lives a lot easier.
It would make our lives a lot easier.
Also, the reason I believe that simplicity is great. The second reason is just simply organization. The reason we use a lot of manual sales campaigns, it just depends, and there's so much nuance to advertising. It depends on what you're trying to do. If you're testing, Advantage Plus Shopping is pretty hard to test. It's going to latch onto one ad, and you got to let it spend, and then you turn that ad off and go to the next. And it doesn't let you like group things very easily. If I wanted to test 5 different concepts of messaging, one on like pain points, one on benefits, and one on insert whatever.
You basically need new campaigns for each.
You have to have campaigns for each, because if you threw 15 variations with 3 on each different concept, it's only going to latch onto one. It'll take forever to do the testing. So it's better to just do manual sales campaign, have an ad set for each angle, right, or each concept, and then run the test. And so I actually like this, because I never liked the organizational structure of Advantage Plus Shopping campaigns for anything other than putting proven winners in it. I mean, there was a time that we would use it for what we call lo-fi testing or low fidelity testing, which we're not going to talk about here. But there's a time we'd use it for that, but we've even started shifting toward manual sales campaigns as a cleaner approach for that. So the only time we would use Advantage Plus Shopping campaigns is really when we're scaling things and we're working with proven winners.
And this allows you to kind of do everything.
This allows you to do everything in one structure. So I think it's just simple, it's organized. I think they should get rid of manual sales campaigns and just go straight to this, so everything is the same. And maybe even stop calling everything manual or Advantage Plus Sales Campaign. Just call them campaigns, and then you just select the objective on the campaign level, which, by the way, is how it used to work. Now it's like we got to select manual versus Advantage Plus Shopping. It's like,
and
just do
there's
campaign,
tailored, and there's like all those different options.
You just do campaign. Do I want leads? Do I want purchases? Do I want traffic? Just go back to the simple. I think even that confuses people.
I agree. Honestly, here's the bottom line. Like, anytime Meta rolls out a new thing in the ads manager, your best bet is to give it a try. Because odds are the reason they're rolling it out is because they're going to force you to do it at some point. So you better just figure it out, because whatever you were doing is probably going to go away. Obviously, Advantage Plus sales campaigns are going away with this change, and I would see manual sales campaigns going away pretty soon after. So just jump on board. Usually when Meta rolls stuff out, it works pretty well. It can have its bumpy road for a little bit, but I think this will be good.
I agree. Well, hey, you've been listening to Ecommerce Alley. We appreciate you watching or listening. If you're watching, please give us a thumbs up on YouTube and drop a comment. Let us know if you're running Advantage Plus sales campaigns right now. And if you've been running them for a little bit and you're watching this after we've released this, we would love to know what kind of results you're getting from using those. If you also want access to any of our training, our coaching, the tools, the resources that we have, go to ecommercealley.com. You'll be able to find all kinds of really cool stuff there, and we'll see you in the next episode.